Alright, so back on the charger. I am going to be converting this fuel system from a manual fuel system, meaning mechanical fuel pump, to electric fuel pump. And I had doubts about this fuel pump from the very beginning, and I was proved correct. It gave up the ghost. As you could probably see in one of my most recent shorts, that I was stranded, and then once I had it towed home, it was producing. So when it was new, it would produce about 4.5 psi at idle, and I was concerned about that. But it seemed to drive fine. It took plenty of throttle. Secondaries worked. But after I broke down, I thought it was vapor locked, or the pump went away, either one. But the next day after I got it towed home, it fired up, and it was only producing 3 pounds. So I kept moving it around, kicking the can down the road, thinking, oh, I'll get to it. Now she doesn't run at all, and there's 0 fuel pressure. So this pump finally gave up, and it wasn't vapor lock. Turns out it was just a bad pump. And now I'm going away from this because the aftermarket doesn't support mechanical pumps very well, at least not at this horsepower level. So I really don't have much choice. I've got 3 Holley blue pumps on the shelf, so that's what I'm going to go with. And see what comes of that, I guess. But yeah, I'm not super thrilled, but whatever. It's just living with hot rods, and in this car's case, it's kind of working bugs out. Yeah, it's just kind of part of the deal when you're building cars. You just gotta work the bugs out. But I think anybody out there who has a classic car knows that they constantly need attention. No matter how good they are, they always need something. So yeah, it's part of the fun, I guess. I just hope this tank doesn't have too much suction. Yeah, it looks like it's slowing down. Sometimes when you get pulling fuel from a tank, it maintains the suction and it keeps flowing. And I think some of us have been there, and yeah, it's kind of dangerous and kind of a hassle, but so it looks like it's slowing down. So I'm going to be putting a block off plate here once I get this apart. And so for those of you who don't know, I'm putting a block off plate where the mechanical pump goes. You could, I suppose, if you just didn't want to do it, you could just disconnect the mechanical pump and just leave it alone and just leave it there. But honestly, it's kind of hacky, I guess we'll say. But I mean, you got to do what you got to do. If you don't have it and you got to drive it to work, that's, you know, that's understandable. But in this case, this isn't my daily driver, so I'm not going to do that. And oddly enough, I didn't know this, but when I was looking into it, the fuel pump block off plates are the same Ford, Chevy, and Dodge. I didn't expect that, so I thought that was kind of interesting. Okay, what are these guys? Let's figure out what size these guys are, and I'm probably gonna try not to be in your way. Try to keep you with sight to it. I gotta find out what size this is. Oh, this creeper is terrible. Alright, it's a 1/2 inch. Yeah, so I'm gonna pull the fuel pump rod, or the push rod for the fuel pump, out of here as well. Yeah, it looks like I'm gonna have to use a socket. Alright. 1 second. push rod comes out of. Just a little Allen. It's a 5/16 Allen. And when I say 5/16, I mean the size of the tool that it takes to remove it. A lot of people get confused about that being the size of the fastener itself. And in this case, I think it's a 3/8, if I'm not mistaken. And typically I'll use, to seal the threads, I'll use aircraft gasket maker. And it's way more oil and gasoline resistant than just regular old Teflon tape. And it acts, well, it's a gasket maker, so you can probably guess that it's really good at either gluing gaskets on or gluing them in place or sealing irregular surfaces. So hopefully I don't get a bunch of oil out with this. I might. Nope. Okay, that's good. Let's see if I can get this thing out. Oh, I think I'm gonna need a magnet. Let's see. I can't remember. I think the steel. There's a steel tip on the push rod and a bronze tip on the other end, if I remember correctly. Maybe I'm wrong, but it seems to be coming, or it's definitely attracted to the magnet, so that's good. Hopefully it's not mushroomed or something stupid like that. It's not willing to come out very easy. That would not be good if it was mushroomed for some reason. Alright, moving on. Little guy wants to stay, so we're gonna let him stay. Just wipe this plug off, get some new sealer on there, and we'll be in business. So yeah, this is the stuff I'm talking about here. So, it's Paratex Aviation Former Gasket at your local auto parts store. Great stuff. I use it for all my NPT threaded threads. Camera work here, but see how it's got a barb fitting on the fuel filter there? I'm gonna put in a -8 on there. Actually, you know what? I might have a 6. Yeah, let me see if I got a 3/8 NPT to a 6 or -6, and then I could just, well, I really want to redo that fuel line. I don't like how it goes behind the alternator. It's nice and cozy, but it's just getting too much heat, I think. So yeah, I'm gonna rethink that. But all right, onward and upward. On second thought, I totally forgot. This was a head of the mechanical pump. So this is a this is 100 micron. So this needs to go ahead of my fuel pump. And in this place, it was ahead of the mechanical. So basically this is the fuel line from the tank that fed the mechanical pump. So I'm gonna remove this and go to an AN with an adapter fitting, but I've got my 10 micron up there, but I'm going to remove that and probably replace it with, or put it right here. So yeah, I'm going to replace this guy with the 10 and put this 100 ahead of the fuel pump in the back of the car. That makes sense. Okay. All right. So now we will leave that there, and I'll have to get a fitting. Goes from there. Let's see. I guess this would be, yeah, we'll swap that. We'll swap our 10 to this. Yeah, okay. Just talking to myself, don't worry about it. Yeah, I've been going back and forth in my mind thinking, yeah, you know, I think I need to do this all in dash 8, because I think this engine needs dash 8. I did 6 because I don't know why, I can't remember why I did it, but I'm pretty sure we should be at dash 8. So I'm gonna see how it goes. It's really not that big of a deal to change. I have more dash 8 than anything else. In fact, dash 6 was, honestly, I can't remember why I did it. Getting old, I guess. Can't remember anything. Yeah, so this was a shot at keeping this thing low key, out of the way as far as the fuel inlet line, and it was right behind the alternator, kind of a bad place. If I had a leak, it would have been bad, but I'm going away from that design now. I like to hide as much as I can when possible or when reasonable. So here's our 10. So this is a 40 micron. So 10 might be a little too much for a carburetor, and I believe 40 is the correct for a pre-filter before the carburetor. But I run a 10 on my EFI on the truck engine, and that's always worked out, but that's a much higher pressure. That's 60 psi fuel inlet pressure, and this is supposed to be between 7 and 9 psi, but I have not seen more than 4 out of this pump, which is why it's not on the car anymore. And so I got some figuring to do, but I do need to mount that pump and hope it works, because on these cars there's just not a great place to mount a fuel pump below below the bottom of the tank is ideal, because you want it gravity fed to some degree. And I've done it on the track where it's not quite below the fuel line, the bottom of the fuel cell, and it worked. But again, that was a whole different pressure range. So all right, yeah, let's mount that fuel pump so we know what we're doing. I just remembered why I did dash 6 on this car, because I bought the stock fuel line, or stock design fuel line, which is a compression fitting type hard line, and that's 3/8. So this car came with a 5/16 fuel line, and I upsized it to the 3/8 because I knew I was going to be running much more horsepower than stock. So dash 6 seemed a lot closer to me to 3/8 than dash 8, so that's why. And I wanted to run the hard line, but I can't tell you what a pain that thing was. If you saw the video, you know it was a huge pain in the butt. I got it in stainless for some reason. I was thinking, I'll get the best kind, stainless, but honestly, it's not worth it. I would rather replace 5 steel fuel lines to 1 stainless steel fuel line. It's ridiculous. And these things weave in and out of the frame, and it's just, it's a hassle. So I would highly recommend against the stainless. It's a joke. Stainless brake lines are a different deal, but especially in off-road. But yeah. All right, rant over.